Hello everyone, this is Sergia Louise and we are going to be talking to Valerie K today on the Instagram live series. Super excited to have her join us. She's a specialty in a heels style. She calls her style Allure Flow and has done a lot of teaching around the world, as well as a lot of online content. So I'm super excited to chat to her. If you have any questions for Valerie, you can just go ahead and pop them into the chat. As I wait for her to join, I'm just looking to see if she's here with us yet. I don't see her just yet. As we're waiting for her to join, if you are getting ready to do a pole performance, I've got a free training for you over on my page. Just go ahead and look at the link in my bio. It's a free training about how to create compelling performances every single time. And let me just see if she has joined us yet. What else? I don't see her coming on just yet. So, oh, there she is. I see her. Let's see if I can request to join live. Valerie, if you see the link that says request to join live, go ahead and pop that in there so I can get you to join us. Hello everyone, happy Wednesday. Let's see. There she. We're talking about pole heels and flow today. One of the things I love about Valerie's stuff is that she has tons of like mini little tutorials and ideas for different pole heels transitions on her page. So definitely something to check out. I've gotten many a wonderful idea. Uh-oh, Valerie, it's not letting you join. Valerie, does it show you a little button that says join live? I'm also sending you another invite as well. If for some reason we can't get our tech to work over here, we can pop over to my page and see if it works over there. Oh, there we are. Hello. How are you, Valerie?
I'm great. Looks like I can join live from my laptop, so I have to do it from my phone.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
We should
glad
get
you are
out of
here. Yes.
it. Thank you.
So tell me.
I'm so happy you invited me. Thank
Oh,
you.
oh, you're so welcome. Yeah, I just love your content. I have so much fun looking at all the fun transitions you put together and getting all inspired. So thank you for putting that content out. And I kind of scrolled back to see kind of when you started putting out content like that. And I know it's kind of been a pretty short journey for you on Instagram. So I kind of wanted to pick your
Yes.
brain about where where you started, how you fell in love with pole, and then what made you to decide to start sharing that online.
Okay, so probably let's start from the very beginning because I started pole dancing 8 years ago. By the way, can you hear me well? Is everything is
Yeah,
good?
yeah.
Perfect. Because I'm always worried about all of these technical issues and I always have them. Doesn't matter what is happening, it's always technical issues with me. Anyway, so I started my pole journey like 8 years ago. And at that moment, I haven't posted anything on social media, like at all. I felt like, I'm not perfect enough to post it. And I feel weird about like everyone can watch what you are doing, and my brain wasn't okay with it. I don't know why. But then it's like I believe 2 years ago or something. I showed my dancing video to my boyfriend's mom, and she were very excited about that. She said like, "Oh my gosh, it's so elegant, it's so beautiful," and she sent that video to her sister. And her sister also was like, wow, that's so beautiful. That's so cool. You have to post that on social media. And I just started to seriously thinking about that. like because there is a stigma around pole dance, but when I know that even my boyfriend's mom is accepting me doing pole dance and everyone is so positive about it, everyone says that it's elegant and nice, I'm like, okay, this is the time to post. And I believe after that conversation with her in a few months, I posted my first video. So this is how I started to post on Instagram pretty
Yeah.
recently.
And when you started posting, did you really think about, okay, I'm going to serve this community by posting little like mini tutorials, or like what do you think like kind of shot you up in popularity when it came to the content you were sharing?
In tutorials, so I just love to teach, and I'm teaching a lot. And I was trying different video formats. Like I posted dancing, and at some point, so my favorite move in all my choreographies is pirouette. There is pirouettes
Yes,
everywhere.
yes.
And at some moment, I realized that I'm explaining how to do pirouette pretty much like every class, like
Yeah.
keep repeating the same thing over and over again. And I think in pirouette, it's a lot of tiny details that you have to do properly so your pirouette will look effortless and nice. And I decided, okay, let's make a video. One video, so all my students will see how to do it. They will have proper technique with all of the tiny details that they have to know. And then everyone can do it. And I don't have to explain it like, 1 million times.
You can just send them the link and say, wait,
Yes,
everyone needs to know this before they come to my class, please.
like a requirement. Yes, know how to do pirouette, please, and point your fingers. But yeah, like that was my first motivation because my first how-to video, it was how to do pirouette. And honestly, it has so many details that if you're explaining that during the class, it takes a lot of time in the class. But when they can check that at home and learn and again listen to it to be like more into the details, then they can perform much better in the class. So
I
this is how
love
I started with how to.
I love it that your story is like all starting with that pirouette, because I just ran the pirouettes 4-day challenge, and it was like the same thing in my brain. I was thinking to myself, gosh, I spend so much time breaking down pirouette in class. It just takes the whole class. So like why
Right?
not like provide information so that, because like you're saying, it's so much to learn every single detail of a pirouette in one class. It's almost like you need to like
Exactly.
spread it out, and each time they're going to get a little bit more intricate with it. And I remember when also, like I took pirouette as a skill.
Mm-hmm.
I took a pirouette. I said, no, 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 this is not pole 101 or pole 1 information. This is way more difficult. We're going to
Yes.
teach it in pole
Yes.
102. We're going to have its own dedicated class. So now in my studio, I literally teach a class that's called Pole Heels Foundations. And the only thing I teach in that whole class are pirouettes,
Pirouette.
shoulder stands, and backwards rolls. That's it. And it literally says that in like the syllabus. It's like, I will not be teaching anything other than these three things in this class. And because to be honest with you, you could teach a pirouette, and it could take an hour easily, no problem.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? And especially there is so many options for
Yeah.
pirouettes that you can do. So
Yes.
it's like, yeah. So like I totally understand you. And I really love the idea of making a separate class that is dedicated just for those like, basic common stuff that you have to do properly to make your dance looks cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Because
Because yeah.
it's kind of like when I thought about what are the three key elements that all the heels teachers at the studio, they all put into their choreographies, and it's those three things:
Mm-hmm.
shoulder stands, pirouettes, backwards rolls. And I'm like, if we could just make sure that before these people go to the choreography class where they have to pick it up quick, that they have it all broken down and feel good about it, then it'd be so great. So I love it so much that pirouette was like the first
Yes.
tutorial you did, because you were like, I don't want to have to teach this 1,000 times. Everyone could just have this information. I could send them the link, and
Yes.
then they'd feel prepared. So I love that you blew up with that, because it's like there's obviously this huge need there for that kind of education.
That's true. And like I'm still doing that. I'm still sending the links to some of the moves to my students and saying, okay, we are learning this. So you
Yeah.
can check out this video because it's very easy to miss the details during the class because it's a lot of information, a lot of practice, a lot of people. But it's way better when you can just show the video with all of that very detailed details. So you can press and pause, you can see all the movements, you can check it from different angles. I love those tutorials. I feel like they're like super helpful.
Yeah.
So I love to make them.
So it's cool. So you first started posting on social media, realizing that people are really loving the mini tutorials. Did you then create like an education kind of platform? Do you have like a course or online classes that you do?
So right now I have just online flexibility classes, and one of the choreography that I'm selling for those who want to try like my style. But right now I'm working on a new course. So it will be released, I believe, in 1 month or 1 month and a half. So I'm in the process, and
Wonderful.
it will be all about technique, all about flowy dancing, allure flow. And also it will be some psychology in it. So I want to work not only with your like appearance from outside, but also how you feel about your dancing, how you feel about your body, what mindset you have, and what stops you from, like performing on your maximum, feeling comfortable. So it will be psychology plus pole dancing.
I love that.
This is
Oh my gosh,
fun.
we'll definitely keep our eyes open for that. So when you first started polling, tell me about your personal journey of how you kind of found your personal style. Like, did you start with heels or were you doing something else completely? And like, how did you arrive at what you loved?
Honestly, I love this question because when I started, my students are not believing me. Unfortunately, I do not have many videos from that period and none of them on a good quality. But when I started, no one believed that I will succeed in it. So I believe first, because I was complete beginner, I was a psychologist. I wasn't a dancer. I was a psychologist. So when I wasn't like a kid, I wasn't too young. It was already when I were 20, I believe. So like even my parents, I remember how I showed them my first few videos, and they were like you're doing good, but you're not flowy enough. You're not elegant enough in your movement. So like maybe it's not yours. Yeah. So for the first, I believe 2, maybe even 3 years, I was struggling a lot. So I did a lot of conditioning, a lot of stretching just to improve my like physical abilities to perform better in pole. And I started from tricks.
Yeah.
So I did tricks. And at that moment, I didn't like heels at all. I was like, no, I'm never going to do that. And now heels is literally my favorite part of dancing.
Yeah.
I don't want to do no tricks, anything. Just give me heels, please. Everything changed. Yeah. And then I danced pole art. So it was like contemporary dancing with no heels. And at some point, it becomes super boring to me. Like, I don't know how to explain, but at certain moments, I was like, okay, I'm done with it. And I even quit pole dancing for 1 year. So I started to do completely different stuff. But then I went back with the idea that I can dance my pole art, but in heels.
Yeah.
So it will be still what I like, but it will be a little bit different, a little bit more feminine, like a little bit more sexy. And that was the moment when I bought my first heels and I just started to practice in heels, like my own movements that feels comfortable for my body, that I like
Yes.
to watch on the video later. And like slowly but surely it ended up being the style, my style that I call allure flow. So now it's like elegant, graceful, sexy, feminine in heels, but not, I can say that it's fully exotic. So it's like a little bit of pole art, a little bit of exotic flow. It's like the mix of two.
Yes.
So yeah.
I love I love that people can hear this story of how you can completely reinvent pole for how you want it to serve you throughout your journey. You know, I think a lot of people get really caught up with pole needs to be done this way, or if you don't climb the pole, you are not pole dancing, or things like that. And it's like, you know, the pole is only this apparatus. Pole is not a style of dance. Pole is just an apparatus. The styles that you
Right?
can use with pole are limitless, and those would all still be considered pole dancing. So it's like, I love it when people kind of like fall into the way that they enjoy pole, you know, the way that they can really, when they don't have any of the pressures of that they need to do it in other
Yes.
ways. They can still just do it the way that feels good to them, you know?
I absolutely agree with you. It was actually one of the things why I loved pole dancing, like why I fell in love. Because when I was a kid, I was trying like some other dance classes, and I felt super uncomfortable there because there is a structure that you have to do. If you're dancing this, you have to take those steps. If you're doing even a little bit different, it's a problem. So like you can't do it. You can't express what you feel in your own way. And that was a big deal for me because when I was a kid, I wasn't like a fast learner with moves and stuff. So that was super hard for me. And that was just pure stress, like no joy, pure stress. So I was taking like one class or two classes, and that was all. But when I started pole, there is no rules.
Yeah.
I love it. You literally can dance it your own way, in heels, without, in pants, in shorts. Like you can do something like, funny and fast. You can do something like hardcore dancing. You can do contemporary dancing, like anything. There is no rules. It can be like a meditation. I love it. So yes,
Yeah.
I would agree with you 100%. Yes.
Wonderful. So you're going to be you're doing your online flexibility stuff right now. Soon you're going to be doing your course online as well with your Allure Flow. And then do you teach in
Yes.
person too in Canada?
Yes.
Yeah, where do you
Uh,
teach?
I I do teach at two studios right now. So I also started to teach Allure Flow there. So it's like a separate class, and it lasts two
Woo!
hours.
Talk about
I just
forearm pump. I bet your forearms get
uh,
really not good workout in the heel stuff.
oh yes, like for 2 hours. But I plan it that way. It's how I would practice if I would be an intermediate student. So I feel like this is the best way because we have good active flexibility conditioning, so not too tiring, but at the same time, that will help girls to lift their legs higher, stay on point comfortably, to become stronger. And then we are dancing, and also in the end of the class, we are working on improvisation. I love it because it helps students to feel more comfortable with time and they can express their own way to dance because it's great when we dance in my choreographies. I love it. No questions. But at the same time, I want them to discover their own femininity, their understanding of sexy, beautiful, how they want to express themselves. So when you're an intermediate student, you already have enough moves,
Yeah.
so you can dance. You just need to walk over that fear that other people will not like it, that you will look awkward. And this is exactly what we are doing. So part of the class, we're working on improvisation and I already can see the results. I'm so proud of my students. They're like, literally with each class of improvisation, you can see how much more confident, comfortable they're feeling. I feel like they're already better than me in improvisation. So I
Yeah,
really
I
love
think
it.
I love that you do that as part of that class because it's such a wonderful way to scaffold the improvisation and the free dance. It's really hard to go from like kind of, you know, from from nothing like a warm up and now we're free dancing, but it's another thing to go from okay, we're getting our active flexibility, we're making sure we have our range of motion, we're going to learn some
Yes.
choreography, and now you can use the choreography as a jumping off point for, you know, for exploring a couple new pathways, for playing with, maybe my body feels like doing this a slightly different way. And that's kind of where, it's so nice to have the improvisation happening at the end of a class
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
When you're already like fully warm up.
Yes. Yes.
But at the
Cool.
same time, I have like no requests for improv. We dancing one by one. So one girl goes to dance. We are dancing on the same pool. We are watching, and it's like super supportive. And at the same time, I'm not asking them to do like their best moves,
Yeah. Yeah.
best
Yeah.
dancer. So the entire point is just go. If you don't know what to do hair flips, make a few waves, and we are good. It's more than enough. And like slowly but surely, everyone is progressing to amazing, amazing choreographies.
Yeah, it's its
I love
own
it.
skill. Free dance is its own skill that needs to be practiced, and in its own way. It's not just going to come if you don't actually have the time. You won't put the time into making sure that there's
Exactly.
time in your schedule to be able to work on that skill.
For
Yeah,
sure. This is what I'm saying to my students because a lot of them who is already intermediate, advanced level, they can't improvise. And they're like, I can't do it. I'm like, no, you can. You just have to practice.
right.
Everything
Their
needs
focus has just been
practice.
somewhere else. Yeah.
Right? So dancing is one thing. Dancing someone else's choreo is different. Dancing improvisation is completely different skill that you have to practice
Yep.
separately. So like you have to work on all skills what you want to get. Does not goes together,
Well,
unfortunately.
Well, then I just love the layout then of the class, because it's like, we're taking those key things that feel the most important to you, which are making sure the body is primed for a range of motion. After
Yes.
that, doing the choreographies of the repertoire building, and then making sure that there is a, allotted time for working on the free dance skill themselves. Those are all three different skills, you know?
Right.
So yeah, that's really cool. I love that.
So yeah, this is what we are doing. And another thing, I know that everyone needs active flexibility. Everyone needs it. For dancers, it's super important thing to perform well. And I know that no one wants to practice it
Yeah.
because like
It's a lot
right?
easier to practice when you have other people's energy around.
Exactly. This is why we have like legit 40 minutes of active flexibility and then we can
Then it's
dance.
done. That's right. Then you can check it off your list because we did it together. We have a question that just came in. I just want to make sure we answer it regarding improv. How do you do it with a hard move, or maybe a difficult move is what they're saying? Pour moi. I can do it with simple skills, but I usually struggle to do but new technical moves in the freestyle. Okay, so think what they're asking. Pour moi. Tell me if I got this correctly. Is that how do you integrate a more difficult move that you've just gained in your repertoire into your free dance? All right, go ahead, Valerie. You take it away, and then I'll give my.
Okay. So if it's really hard skill, hard move, then you have to choose this move like a core of your improvisation and just try to play around with different entries into this move and different exits from the move. So technically you have to keep in your head that we need this particular move, and then you're starting to play around how to enter, how to exit, and again and again until you will be happy with the result. And another moment, film it on video, make a video, because when you improvise in, you can come up with some cool transitions, some new transitions, and if you're not recording, you will not be able to do them ever again. So like feel and just build your improvisation, like the core of it is that hard move, and just try to enter it into that move nicely. That's all. Sergio, what ideas do you have?
I love it. That's exactly it. I mean, as you guys heard Valerie talking about, if there's a difficult move and you know that you really want to make that a part of your free dance that day or that song, then you want to put that, just like Valerie said, at the forefront of your mind. And maybe even before you move into the free dance, exactly what Valerie's saying is you want to learn how to floss into it and floss out of it. So you're trying to find all the things that are going to precede it, that could work for preceding it, and all the things that could follow it. So at first, you're not necessarily necessarily going to do a free dance. You might just be rolling your camera, like Valerie said, turn on your camera and start to floss and figure out what could go before and what could go after. You might discover amazing things. And like she said, how many times have you been doing this, Valerie, on camera, and then you look back at the video and you thought, there was nothing there, and you're like, whoa, there is something there. There is really something there, and then you want to recreate that. So first, I would say, like Valerie said, floss in and floss out. Really find preceding and following things. Once you have lots of ideas for what could go ahead and behind it, then move into your free dance with it at the forefront of your mind and say to yourself, don't give yourself too much pressure. Don't say, I need to do all these crazy things in free dance. You've got one goal. You want to do this one move that you've been working on in your free dance, and how to move in and how to move out of it. And anything else that happens in that free dance is just added bonus, right? Like she said, throw some some body waves and some hair flips in there, and don't pressure yourself to do 1,000 other things. Like, make that be the central point of your free dance. So yeah, love that.
I just realized this is technically how I'm making my choreographies. I'm choosing a few transitions, which one are really hard, that I want to like show to my students, and then I'm just playing around those transitions. And what ended up being in the end is new choreography.
Yes.
So like,
Exactly.
yes,
Yeah, I'm the same
just
way.
feel. Make sure that you're filming.
Yeah, it's like I do the same exact thing. I will think of maybe like when I go to do my own training, I will think of like one or two moves that I've seen that have inspired me, and they'll be like, okay, first I'm going to teach myself that move. So first I'm going to work on that move. Second, I'm going to figure out what can go ahead and after it. And then I'm going to, as a goal, see if I can take that one and attach it to this one. And then see what kind of transitions happen in between. And before you know it, you've, just choreographed 30 seconds of content. And you're like, well, that works nice. I like that. And also, like, not to pressure yourself. Like, what I always say when people are choreographing is like, put something together. You're not going to know what you don't want to do until you do it, right? So it's like, you can't just say, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Think about, okay, well, I'm going to try all these things. Now I'm going to look at it. Oh, now I decide that I'm just going to substitute that out for something else because I'm not loving how that's happening. So it's like, when you make a choreography, don't feel like the first time through has to be perfect. You can always go back and like take things out and put other things in to replace them too. I feel like that gets people a lot stuck because they can't like keep going. They never finish. Like, finish something, then go back and start substituting things out,
This is the way. For
Yeah.
sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Like recently I've had interesting experience. So I had to perform at pole dancers event, and I pulled my neck literally one day before the performance, so I was not able to turn my head at all. So like all dance, everything what I planned, I was not able to do. So it was my first time ever in life dancing improvisation literally on the stage, because I had no abilities to prepare or do something. So I just improvised on the stage. First time ever. And I absolutely love it. It ended up being very freeing experience, because when you know that you can just, go with the flow without any requirements. I had a few transitions that I wanted to do, like exactly how we just talked. I had few transitions in mind. I did them, and everything what I did around, it was just playing with the song. And in the end, I love it. And that feels so comfortable when you're not struggling a lot before performance, not overthinking everything what you have to do because you have a list of movements. That was just amazing. So like, exactly, like improvisation is a huge thing. We have to work on it.
Love
Yes.
that. A happy accident. You discovered that you could hold your own on stage with all that practice.
Yeah. Because last time when I was performing, I literally was preparing for 2 months. I was overthinking. I changed my routine so many times. And in the end, I performed with a dance that I don't like. So, okay, I like the dance, but it wasn't me. It was too fast. I was trying to make it perfect, and I made it worse instead of making it perfect. and that was like not cool experience. But now I have this experience, the last one, when I performed that easy without overthinking, and that was amazing, and I love it. So I'm happy that actually it ended up being that way.
Yeah.
I changed my mindset a little bit about performance.
Yeah.
About performance.
Got a taste of that. Well, this was wonderful, and also we had some such great questions to talk about. So tell us where we can make sure that we continue that to follow you, so that when you launch your course, that we are all in the know.
So I will announce that on my page, like super soon. So just keep checking my page. Everything will be in stories, in posts. But for right now, I also have what to give to our viewers.
Yay!
I have free class. It's mini class online, Allure Flow. So you just have to come on my page, and under the last post, just comment Allure, and I will send you the link how to access the free class. So you can already
Wonderful.
practice with me for free a little.
Wonderful. So everyone, make sure you pop over to Valerie's recent post and comment under there so you can get your free class from her today. Thank you so much for doing
Yes.
this, Valerie. Yeah. We will see you online soon, and thank you so much for a wonderful chat.
So thank you for talking with me. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, you too.
Okay, thank you everyone for listening.
Bye.
Bye.